A quantum leap in the evolution of consciousness. I had glimpse of this state of freedom from mind and time that you describe, but past and future are so overwhelmingly strong that I cannot keep them out alone. The time-bound mode of consciousness is deeply embedded in the human psyche. But what we're doing here is part of a profound transformation that is taking place in the collective consciousness of the planet and beyond. The awakening of consciousness from the dream of matter, form, and separation. The ending of time. We are breaking mind patterns that have dominated human life for eons. Mind patterns have had created unimaginable suffering on a vast scale. I'm not using this word evil. It's more helpful to call it unconsciousness or insanity. This breaking up of the old mode of consciousness, or rather unconsciousness, is it something we have to do, or will it happen anyway? I mean, is this change inevitable? That's a question of perspective. The doing and the happening is in fact a single process because you are one with the totality of consciousness. You cannot separate the two, but there's no absolute guarantee that human will make it. The process isn't inevitable or automatic. Your cooperation is an essential part of it. However, you look at it, it is quantum leap and in the evolution of consciousness as well as our only chance of survival as a race. The joy of being. To alert you that you have allowed yourself to be taken over by psychological time, you can use simple criterion. Ask yourself, is there joy, ease, and lightness in what I'm doing? If there isn't, then time is covering up the present moment, and life is perceived as a burden or a struggle. If there is no joy, ease, or lightness in what you're doing, it does not necessarily mean that you need to change what you are doing. It may be sufficient to change the how. How is always more important than what. See if you can give much more attention to the doing than the result that you want to achieve through it. Give your fullest attention to whatever the moment presents. This implies that you also completely accept what is, because you cannot give your full attention to something that at the same time resists it. As soon as you honor the present moment, all unhappiness and struggle dissolve and life begins to flow with joy and ease. When you act out of present moment awareness, whatever you do becomes imbued with a sense of quality, care, and love, even the most simple action. So, do not be concerned with the fruits of your action. Just give attention to the action itself. The fruit will come of its own accord. This is a powerful spiritual practice. In the Bhagavad Gita, one of the oldest and most beautiful spiritual teaching in existence, non-attachment to the fruit of your action is called karma yoga. This is described as the path of consecrated action. In the Bhagavad Gita, one of the oldest and most beautiful spiritual teaching in existence, non-attachment to the fruit of your action is called karma yoga. It is described as the path of consecrated action. When the compulsive striving away from the now ceases, the joy of being flows into everything you do. The moment your attention turns to the now, you feel a present stillness and a peace. You no longer depend on the future for fulfillment and satisfaction. You don't look to it for salvation. Therefore, you are not attached to the results. Neither failure nor success has the power to change your inner state of being. You have found a life underneath your life situation. In the absence of psychological time, your sense of self is derived from being, not from your personal past. Therefore, the psychological need to become anything other than who you are already is no longer there. In the world, on the level of life as situation, you may indeed become wealthy, knowledgeable, successful, free of this or that, but in the deeper dimension of being, you are complete and whole now. Okay, I'm going to read this part one more time. In the absence of psychological time, your sense of self is derived from being, not from your personal past. Therefore, the psychological need to become anything other than who you are already is no longer there. In the world, on the level of your life situation, you may indeed become wealthy, knowledgeable, successful, free, or of this and that, but in the deeper dimension of being, you are complete and whole now. Is that state of wholeness, would we still be able or willing to pursue external goals? Of course, but you will not have illusionary expectation that anything or anybody in the future will save you or make you happy. As far as your life situation is concerned, there may be things to be attained or acquired. That's the word of form of gain and loss. Yet on a deeper level, you're already complete, and when you realize that, there is a playful, joyous energy behind what you do. Being free of psychological time, you no longer pursue your goal with grim determination, driven by fear, anger, discontent, or the need to become someone. Being free of psychological time, you no longer pursue your goals with grim determination, driven by fear, anger, discontent, or need to become someone. Being free of psychological time, you no longer pursue your goals with grim determination, driven by fear, anger, discontent, or the need to become someone. Nor will you remain inactive through fear of failure, which to the ego is loss of self. When your deeper sense of self is derived from a being, when you are free of becoming, as a psychological need, neither your happiness nor your sense of self depend on the outcome, and so there is freedom from fear. When your deeper sense of self is derived from being, when you are free of becoming as a psychological need, neither your happiness nor your sense of self depend on the outcome, and so there is freedom of fear. When your deeper sense of self is derived from being, when you're free of becoming as a psychological need, neither your happiness nor your sense of self depend on the outcome, and so there is freedom from fear. You don't seek permanency where it cannot be found in the world of form or gain and loss, birth and death. You don't demand that situations, conditions, places, or people should make you happy and then suffer when they don't live up to your expectations. Everything is honored, but nothing matters. Forms are born and die, yet you are aware of the eternal underneath the forms. You know that nothing real can be threatened. When this is your state of being, how can you not succeed? You have succeeded already. Everything is honored, but nothing matters. Life forms are born and die, but yet you are aware of the eternal underneath the forms. You know that nothing real can be threatened. When this is your state of being, how can you not succeed? You have succeeded already. Okay, let's move on to the next chapter. Chapter 4, Mind Strategies for Avoiding the Now. Loss of now, the core delusion. Even if I completely accept that ultimate time is an illusion, what difference is that going to make in my life? I still have to live in the world that is completely dominated by time. Intellectual agreement is just another belief and won't make much difference to your life. To realize this truth, you need to live it. When every cell of your body is so present that it feels vibrant with life, and when you feel that life every moment as joy of being, then it can be said that you are free from time. Intellectual agreement is just another belief and won't make much difference to your life. To realize this truth, you need to live it. When every cell of your body is so present that it feels vibrant with life, and when you can feel that life every moment as the joy of being, then it can be said you're free of time. But I still have to pay the bills tomorrow, and I'm still going to grow old and die just like everyone else. So how can I ever say that I am free from time?